Hello, hi. So I'm Arushi, and I just gave my IIM Sambalpur interview like literally 2 to 3 minutes back. It is the shortest interview I have ever given in my 21 years of life, and it's the I feel for me at least it was the most chill interview I've ever given. It was as if I'm speaking with my friends and just discussing ideas that I usually discuss with my friends all the time. So that was quite chill. So I'm just here to share my experience with you so that I feel that any of such questions can help you perhaps. Um, so firstly, they asked me to introduce myself, wherein of course then I introduced myself and I mentioned I of course talked about where I am from and what subjects I pursued in undergraduation and what all leadership activities I've done in undergraduation. Very briefly, I touched upon that, and then I came to professionally what all internships I've done and under which organizations. I didn't talk about all of the internships. I talked about the most important ones. I talked about the Indian Express, and I talked about one of the internships that I'm still currently doing in my hometown. So very briefly, like hardly a minute and a half um, introduction you should give. After that, because this interview is very short, so and for all the other candidates also it was very short. Then they asked me, my undergraduation was in literature and theater, so they asked me, okay, since you've done literature and theater, why don't you tell us something about storytelling? So I was like, sure. They were like, what are the important elements of storytelling? So I talked about the fact that you need to know your audience, and accordingly you will know what you want to talk about and how you want to talk about whatever you're going to talk about, and how do you use your hands and other expressions and hand gestures and everything. So I talked about that, and then he again asked the question. He said, what are the key elements of storytelling? So I was a bit, it was like what is one of the key element of storytelling? I was a bit confused. I was like, what is this man trying to ask? So I just said, I think this answer wasn't so great, so I just repeated essentially the same thing, that oh, knowing the audience engagement is important. If you're telling something, also ask them a question, etc. Then he mentioned that elements of storytelling include humor, and they include fear and all those things. Which one is works best for you? I said, I would, which one would you use if you're given a chance? So I mentioned that I would use satire and humor for my own reasons. And here I also seeped in one of the achievements from my college, and I mentioned that I had been a very active member of the comedy club in my college. So I talked to him about that. Then he asked me a question, that why not fear? Why humor or satire? Why do you think it will not work? So I mentioned that no, I know that fear will work, and that is literally how our systems are being operated. And Michel Foucault has written about it a lot. So I also like slid in a bit of my knowledge, academic knowledge over there, and then but I told them that I just personally don't like it because I feel it is a very short term thing. For long term, we need humor. Then so there was this, so we had two panelists. One was the male panelist and the other was the female panelist. This was all being asked by the male panelist. Then after that he said that okay, now I'll switch over to, I don't remember what the name of the ma'am was, I'm so sorry. Am I being patriarchal in that? No, because I don't remember the male panelist name either. But anyway, so he said now I'm going to hand it over to her, so you can go ahead and tell um, what all is you need to ask. So she also just asked me that, oh, can theater be applied to management studies, and how do you think so? And I mentioned that yes, it can be applied, blah blah blah. And then she said, can you give an example? So I gave her an example back from my college also, where we had a course for the theater for managers, which also one of the performances I judged also. And then I mentioned a few personalities from our own Indian culture who were great theater practitioners but also great leaders and managers. Mm, so yeah, that was pretty much it. And then they said, okay, thank you, looking forward to it. Now the thing is, I know that the interview went really well for me. At least it was as if I'm just chit chatting with someone. Whether or not they liked it, whether or not they were taking me seriously, or they were just like literally passing their time, I have no idea. Either it can go really well or it can result in me not getting in. So that is there, but I just thought I should share it with the people who can benefit from this. So yeah, and I keep on forgetting that I have to look at the camera. So all right, all the best of luck for your I am Sambalpur interview. Mine was online. If yours is too, all the best. Just a bit of a heads up. Even on Reddit and everything, I was seeing that they had delayed the interview a lot. For me, it was delayed by an hour. The reporting time was 1:45, and then they and my actual interview started around 2:45 ish. So yeah, about an hour. So do not panic or anything. They will be writing, I mean, when you're in the waiting room, they write on the chat as well that this person is next, this person is next, and in your mail you know which sequence number you have, so you can count and get to know about what time. And every interview is not, at least the 8 interviews that were before me, none of them were more than 10 minutes, none of them. So average was 6 to 7 minutes. Mine was also, I think, 8 to 9ish minutes, or at least that's how it's seeming in my head. So yeah, all the best of luck, you'll do great. Yeah, bye bye.